So now I want to explain about the interface that using the filter. So this is the main dot for the interface using the theme data for the changing color into light mode and the dark mode. So this for the dark mode will be using the following theme data, and this is the light mode. So the display will be in like this. This is a login page for the SCHOO-LAH. So this is the notifier using the value changing value notifier to change the color into dark mode and the light mode. So now we are going to the student interface using the student information. So now we are going to see the student interface using the following. So this is the interface for the student interface. So the following will be show the list of the information like subject, the news, and also. So now we'll see the main four things. These four things is to navigate to each part. First one is subject, financial, e-book store, and the QR scan. So at the side also can be shown. So also the same can be navigate to each part, including my profile and log out. This part also can change the color into dark mode. So now we'll change the color into dark mode. Go to subject part. All these are taken from the Firebase. So this is the interface for this and with the indicator progress. So can see each student how many percentage they have completed. Inside my subject will have my task. So inside the task will be using the indicator completed true or false. So from the database like this, it will be for me and will be become. And then will be update or not, and the cancel button also will be formed. So now we are going to see the financial. This is the interface for the financial. So I do all this using different color style for different parts. So this is a transaction history. Until now is the transaction history, if completed, will be shown a tick and a green color, and if not paid, will be put across. So this is a special part lah. And then this is the e-book store. The e-book store will be shown like this. This is e-book store. There will be display all the risk book in their title and also the prices. So the display will be in query form. And now be for the QR scan. If when press the QR scan, it will form a QR scanning camera that will be show the student to scan. After the scan, there will be show a message like this, successfully registered like this in the form of the interface. So now we are going to the profile page. So this is a profile picture, and this is the information of my profile can be updated, and also set using the logout button and below or the bottom navigation bar, and also the logout. So it can be changed in color and normal like this. So now we are logged out, and using this login button to go to the teacher's interface. So this is interface for this. So now the interface for this will be using the widget and also different style. So the teacher homepage using the scaffolder inside will be using all the interface using silver as part, so they can be you can be responsive more a bit before like this silver app bar, and inside use the basic using container, box decoration, and also others. So this is a horizontal scroll using the basic scroll, and then now the side also the same, can be changed color. So now go to subject list. The subject will be shown as same as the student, but different is without the progress bar. So inside this subject will be have my task, can be long press to delete. So the long press, after long press will be deleted like this, same thing. And also can be add task. Yes. And then add task, and then will be formed in. So this is the interface, the simple interface will be shown like this. So now we're going to see the student part. So this is the interface for the student, will be show how many students are here. So this is a simple one, and the QR history will be also generate same thing like it, and then also can be generated. So this is a simple one and generate like this. Now we see my profile. So this is a profile, same as a student, but different is a little bit information only. So this is a interface for the teacher part. So now we'll log out and going to see the sign up pages. Sign up pages will be in student will be have this interface, and for the teacher will be have the teacher interface like this. So and then press back using the button text, and using the button text will be from the button that can press the words. So that's all for me.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. My name is NURUL. So for this project, what I did is I created the backend Firebase project, and also I created the collections for user and also books in for our backend Firebase. And lastly, I also implement dependency injection on user and also book modules for our front end. So basically, first what I did is I created the base project. So here I created the index.js file, and I declared functions called exports.api and also exports.setupdb. Okay, after that I declared the setup underscore database file, and here I also created a database class, and here I initialize the constructor and also the CRUD operations, which is create, get list, get, set, and also delete function. Okay, after created all these three classes, I deployed the project. Now we get the URL for our Firebase with function API and also setup DB. Okay, after create the base project, I create the collection for user and also for books. So first of all, for book collection, what I did is I declare the initial data for books. So here I created collections called books. After declare the data, I created the models and also the controller class for books. So here for books model, I import the database.js, and I created the constructor, the get function, get by ID, create, delete, and also update. Okay, so next is the book controller. So here is I declare the function for get to get all books, to get the list of books, and also to get one book. So here we have to pass the book ID, and also I create function to create a new book. So here we have to use the function router.post, and you also can delete a book by using router.delete. And next is router.patch to update a book details. So next, after I created the book collection, I also create the user collection here inside our setup underscore database. I declare a collection called users, and here I created the users underscore models.js. The function I created here is similar to the book models. So next, in the users controller, I import the users models, and here I declare a function to get all users, to get one users by passing the ID, and create a new user, and after that delete a users using router.delete, and okay, and then update a users using router.patch. So here also we have to declare, we have to pass the user ID. And lastly is router.put to replace a user. Okay, so next, besides the backend, I also implement dependency injection in our front end for user and also for book models. So first of all, inside our REST service here, okay, Irdina already declared the base URL for our Firebase, which is SCHOO-LAH.cloudfunctions.net/API. So in our service folder, I created the user service class, which is an abstract class. So here, For this abstract class, I declare all the function inside the users underscore service rest class. So in this class, I import the REST service and also implement the user service abstract class before. So for our get all users function, I called the rest.getUsers URL here, meaning that if we call the API/users, okay, it will return all the users list. And next is the register new function. So basically for register new function, what I did is I called the rest.post function and we input the data for the new user and created an abstract class called book service where we have get all books function here. So in this book service rest class, I import the rest underscore service and I declare the function for get all books. So here the function will call rest and .get books and it will return list of books.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Jumail. I am Irdina. Here I want to proceed the explanation about my part. I, as one of the member who did the backend part, this is some of the collection that we use to store in the Firebase. I did the fees, QR, and also to this part. So let's go into the backend coding. Now, to make sure that I can store all the data into the Firebase, I have to create controllers and models for the data that I want to store. So here I have fees controller. Okay, I have fees controller, which will call fees models. So let's move on into the fees model. I name the collection called as fees here. And also we have QR controller to fetch the QR code. And it will call QR models. QR models, I name it as QR here. And also we have todos controller and it will call todos models, which will be specified here as todos. So I put all the data related or all the data that I want to be stored in the Firebase in setup database here. So here we have fees, the collection of fees, and also we have the data for todos, and we also got the data for QR. In index.js, I will call the router to make sure that it will be connected by using todos router, QR router, and fees router, and call the controller for each of every data. We use dependency injection and service locator to make sure that we can connect the front end with the back end part. And also, in that case, we have to include some more files called as REST. So for my part, I need a fee service REST, QR service REST, and also to-do service REST. Okay, fee service REST basically it will be performed to fetch data from Firebase for fees, and the fee service works as the abstract class, which is as the dependency class. And here also we have QR code service REST, which will implement QR code service, which I have specified all the related function that want to be used, and also to do service REST here that will implement to do service. This is the abstract class for to do service. And basically, I have called all the function related in dependencies.dart, which we use lazy singleton as the service locator here. And first, we will specify the lazy singleton for that service and call for that particular data fee service, QR service, and also to do service. And then I will call each of every function in the screen to make sure that it can be displayed on the screen later. So let's look into the subject list first. Now I have logged in as student, who is AHMAD here. I use I declare a variable called as data service, which will call to do service REST, and I call the todos by using get all todos to make sure that I can fetch all the subject for that particular todos. Now, if I press subjects, it will fetch the subjects and it will display here all the subjects that I have stored in the Firebase. Okay, for the task list, I use get current to do to make sure that I can fetch the task for the particular subject that I press. For example, I press subject Bahasa Melayu, it will display all the tasks related for the particular subject. Okay, then let's look into the tuition fee. For tuition fee, I also use the same function, which is the same method to call the service REST. But here I call it by using get all fees to make sure I can fetch the list of fee from Firebase. And if I press financial, it will fetch the data and display all the fees that have been stored in the Firebase. Okay, let's move on to the teacher screen. Okay, now I have logged in as Nur Ain, who is the teacher. Okay, here I will show you for the subject list. I use the same method as I call it in the student screen by using get all to dos so that I can fetch a list of subject. Here, when I press subjects, it will fetch the data and display all the subject from the Firebase. And in the task list, I also use the same method by using the syntax get current to do. When I press subject bahasa Melayu, it will display all the subject for the all the tasks for the particular subject. I can and here I also can long press to delete the task or add more tasks. Okay, for example, task here. Okay, and add task. Okay, now we will look into the task. Okay, the tasks have been inserted. Okay, how do I insert the task? It is in the add task file. I use create to do to make sure I can create more tasks in the subject and update the current to do so that the tasks added will be updated in the list of to do. Other than that, as I said earlier, I also did the QR code part. Here in the QR history, I use get all QR codes to fetch all the list of QR code from the Firebase. When I press QR history, now it will fetch and display all the QR code that have been stored in the Firebase. And I also can generate new QR code by pressing generate QR code, choose subject, for example, English, the time just put 000 and press generate. The new QR code has been added and it will update in the list of QR history. Created on 000. Okay, in QR generate, I use create QR code to make sure that I can store the new QR code in the Firebase. Apart from that, I also did the MVVM part to separate the widget for the drawer. So here I have done the widget for teacher drawer and student drawer. Basically, me and my team members collaborate to complete this part. We do it in the live share session during our meeting. So in the student drawer, we use tagless widget here and put all the function related to the drawer that we want to use. And the class of the drawer, which is drawer view, will be called in each of every screen. For example here, drawer view. Same goes teacher screen. The teacher drawer called as teacher drawer view and the function related will be specified here and it will be called in each of every screen. As stated here, teacher drawer view.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fikri bin ISMAIL. So I'm from group Exia, team Exia. So right now I'm going to talk about my part in this development of our application called SCHOO-LAH. So first and foremost, I the one that responsible for the MVVM application on our coding. Okay, so yeah, with the help of my teammates too. Okay, so first thing first, I'm going to show the MVVM, our MVVM application on our application. Okay, first we apply it on our student. Okay, where is for the books section. Okay, so now I'm going to show the book ebook store. So for the listing of the book, we use MVVM in order to separate the data displayed with the UI, so that it will not be confusion in our coding. So right now, as you can see, here is the bookstore.data, which is the screen that we are viewing right now. Okay, so this is the main function, the class bookstore page. Okay, this is our class. So this is the MVVM that we apply. So we call get all books function from book list view model. Okay, in order to display the books that coming from our database. Okay, this is the same method that we apply for the student list view model. So for the student list view model, we are going to show the interface. Log out first. Okay, so Norain is our teacher in this application. So as you can see, the interface is different. So right now we can see the students. Okay, so there are only one students because there is only one example in our database, the Firebase. So this is the student. So I'm going to show the coding. Teacher screen, student list view model, teacher student list. Okay. So in here too, we apply the same method. We apply for the student, for the book list view model, which is we call get student list function inside the student list view model. So this is the structure that we learned and we see from Dr. Video back then during the class. So we implement it to our coding. So this is the part where we apply for the function in our coding. So other than that, for drawer has been done by Irdina. Okay, so right now for navigation bar. Okay, so we declare new widgets which are student navbar dot dat and teacher navbar dot dat. So the function that we do this is because MVVM, because we want to make the coding to become less redundant. So we don't have to type in every single one of this screen, but we replace it by just doing so in one coding. So in the other, okay, for example, just pick randomly QR scan. So in the other code, in the other dart, so we just call the function here navigation bar, which located in the student navbar. Okay, for example here the student screen, so it's located in the student navbar. So as you can see here, it's being called navigation bar. We call the class to display the buttons, the bottom navigation bar here. Okay. So as you can see, it is functioning on every single one of it. Okay, it's functioning. Okay, so we try to log out. I will show it in the student, but because the sound was the teacher. Okay. Okay, same method will apply for the teacher. For the student. Like the coding I showed just now, this for the student navbar. Okay, so for in the teacher, we also have it, the teacher navbar. Same method, we call teacher navigation bar. Okay, cite the coding of the teacher interface, which can be located in any one of these. Okay, what is it? For example, in the teacher home. Let's see, where is it? Wait. Okay, here. Teacher navigation bar, which is located in the teacher navbar. Okay, so that's all for me. Thank you.